There's a quiet psychological chain reaction when a woman recognizes a Sigma male's presence, and it starts with how the brain reads safety and status. Humans rapidly assess others through thin slices, micro-behaviors in posture, eye contact, and vocal tone, and a Sigma's steady gaze, measured speech, and relaxed body language signal, self-regulation rather than dominance. In psychology, this is tied to non-reactivity and an internal locus of control. He isn't easily pulled by social pressure or emotional spikes, which the nervous system often interprets as predictability and calm. Research on emotional regulation shows that people who can downshift arousal think more clearly under stress. In social settings, that clarity reads as competence. Add self-determination theory, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, and you get someone who acts from values instead of approval. That's why he doesn't mirror, perform, or chase. He observes and listens, letting silence do part of the talking. The effect on women is subtle but real. Curiosity rises because the usual social scripts fail. Respect grows because boundaries are intact, and attraction can follow because calm confidence hints at reliability. Attachment cues matter too. Consistent, non-clingy behavior mimics secure attachment, which tends to feel both safe and intriguing. Importantly, this isn't coldness, it's self-containment. He's warm when he chooses to be, not because he needs to be. In conversation, he asks specific questions, holds eye contact without staring, and doesn't rush to fill pauses, behaviors linked with high social efficacy. In groups, he contributes without competing, prioritizing signal over noise. That scarcity effect makes attention from him feel earned, not dispensed. Over time, women often test for congruence. Does his calm persist under pressure? Do his actions match his words? Does he protect his time and standards? When the answer is yes, behavior shifts, more genuine disclosure, steadier tone, fewer performative games, because his frame rewards authenticity. What seems like mystery is simply disciplined presence. Emotional regulation, clear boundaries, and purpose-driven living quietly reshaping the room. Number one, they test your stillness. When a woman senses Sigma energy, something deep within her psychology becomes alert, not in fear, but in fascination. It's an instinctive response to authenticity in a world where most men are performing. Sigma energy carries a calm that cannot be faked, a kind of self-possession that's earned through solitude, discipline, and deep self-awareness. So when a woman encounters it, her natural curiosity awakens. She begins to test it, not out of malice, but because she wants to understand if that stillness is genuine or just another mask. This behavior is rooted in evolutionary psychology. Women are biologically inclined to seek stability and strength in a potential partner. In modern terms, that test is her way of discerning emotional maturity from bravado. She might tease, question your opinions, or create small emotional waves just to see if you lose composure. These are not attacks. They're invitations to reveal your authenticity. A man who reacts defensively or tries too hard to prove himself shows instability. But the Sigma doesn't fall for that trap. His calm isn't passive. It's active awareness. It's the discipline of knowing who he is so deeply that no external validation or rejection can shake him. This emotional neutrality, what psychologists call low reactivity, is one of the most powerful traits of high-value men. Studies in social dynamics show that people who maintain emotional control are perceived as more confident, trustworthy, and intelligent. That's exactly what she subconsciously feels when her tests fail to stir him. Over time, this quiet strength shifts the dynamic. Her curiosity turns into respect, and her respect often evolves into attraction. Because beneath her playful challenges lies a deeper question. Can this man hold his own without needing to dominate me? The Sigma's answer isn't verbal, it's energetic. His steady gaze, his measured tone, and his composed reactions all communicate that he's unbothered because he's aligned with himself. This creates what behavioral scientists call psychological safety, a state where a woman feels both free and secure in a man's presence. In the end, what she's really testing is his authenticity, and the Sigma always passes not by trying, but by being. His calm is not for show. It's a reflection of mastery over emotion, ego, and impulse. And in a world full of noise, that quiet power speaks louder than anything he could ever say. Number 2, they start mirroring your calm. Over time, your energy sets the emotional tone of every interaction you enter. A Sigma male understands this truth deeply, not through words, but through presence. He doesn't chase excitement, validation, or attention, because he knows those things are fleeting. Instead, he radiates an energy of calm confidence that silently dictates the atmosphere around him. It's a psychological principle called emotional contagion, the idea that emotions are transferable and that people unconsciously mirror the energy of those they're near. When a Sigma walks into a room, his grounded presence often becomes the unspoken rhythm everyone tunes into. He doesn't force calm, he is calm. And that's precisely what draws others, especially women, toward him. Women, being naturally intuitive and emotionally receptive, are often the first to pick up on this vibration. When they sense that a man is not seeking their validation or approval, something inside them relaxes. Their defenses lower. They begin to mirror his tranquility. They start to speak softer, laugh more genuinely, and exist more fully in the present moment. This reaction isn't manipulation, it's resonance. Psychologically, people are drawn to those who make them feel safe, centered, and accepted without judgment. A Sigma's peace operates like gravity. It pulls chaos into order. Unlike men who rely on charm, dominance, or constant performance to gain attention, a Sigma's stillness speaks louder than words. It tells a woman's subconscious, "You are safe here. You don't have to pretend." That emotional safety is magnetic because it contrasts with the overstimulated energy of the modern world, where most people live in a state of rush, noise, and distraction. Studies in behavioral psychology show that calm individuals regulate not just their own nervous systems, but also influence those of others nearby. This is why being around a centered person literally feels healing. Over time, this becomes the Sigma's quiet power. He doesn't change people through persuasion. He transforms them through example. His serenity invites others to slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect with their authentic selves. Women especially feel this shift because in his presence, they are no longer reacting to emotional turbulence, but resting in stability. His peace becomes contagious, a rare frequency that gently reminds them what balance feels like. In a world obsessed with noise, the Sigma's silence doesn't go unnoticed. It becomes the calm in the storm, the steady pulse that realigns everything and everyone around him. Number 3, they respect your boundaries instinctively. When a man respects himself, the world adjusts its behavior around him. It's not arrogance or pride, it's self-awareness. A Sigma male understands that respect begins within, not from the validation of others. This kind of man doesn't need to shout his worth because his silence speaks volumes. His boundaries are not lines drawn in the sand. They are the natural walls built from years of discipline, self-control, and inner peace. When he says no, it isn't a challenge. It's clarity. It's a statement of what he stands for and what he refuses to tolerate. When he walks away, he does it with quiet grace, not bitterness. There's no dramatic exit, no emotional outburst, just a steady decision to protect his peace. Psychologically, this behavior is deeply rooted in self-respect and emotional intelligence. Studies in behavioral psychology show that people with high self-esteem and self-regulation skills naturally command more respect in social settings. It's not about dominance, it's about consistency. The Sigma male embodies this. His demeanor, tone, and choices all align with his inner code. People sense this congruence, and it makes them trust, admire, and sometimes even fear him. Women in particular find this energy magnetic, not because he's trying to impress them, but because he doesn't need to. In a society where many men bend their values to gain attention or approval, a Sigma's refusal to chase validation becomes rare and therefore irresistible. From an evolutionary psychology standpoint, this self-assured composure signals strength, stability, and leadership. Historically, women were drawn to men who could remain calm under pressure, protect their boundaries, and provide emotional security. The Sigma male reflects that same archetype today. His detachment from external validation communicates a sense of independence that feels both mysterious and grounded. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about having better things to protect: his peace, his focus, and his purpose. In modern life, where constant noise and approval-seeking dominate social interactions, the Sigma's quiet confidence feels like a rare luxury. He doesn't chase acceptance because he already accepts himself. He doesn't fight for control because he controls his emotions. That kind of man doesn't need to announce his boundaries. They're simply felt in the way he speaks, moves, and exists. And in a world where many seek attention, the one who seeks peace inevitably becomes the one everyone notices. Number 4, they reveal their authentic side. A Sigma male's presence has a unique psychological effect on women, one that blends emotional safety with authenticity. Unlike most men who chase validation or idealize women into untouchable figures, the Sigma operates from a space of quiet acceptance. He doesn't see women as prizes to be won or puzzles to be solved, but as human beings with flaws, emotions, and contradictions. This non-judgmental energy is powerful because it dismantles the social performance many women feel compelled to maintain. In a world where perfection is constantly demanded through appearance, behavior, and even emotional expression, being around a man who doesn't expect performance feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. From a psychological standpoint, this connects deeply to the concept of unconditional positive regard, a term coined by the humanistic psychologist Carl Rogers. It refers to accepting another person without judgment or conditions. When women sense this from a Sigma male, their nervous system begins to relax. Their guard lowers. They no longer feel the need to impress or manipulate perception because they subconsciously realize he isn't grading them. This shift activates what researchers call authentic self-expression, when a person behaves in alignment with who they truly are, not who they think they should be. And here's where the real connection begins. When masks fall away, emotional intimacy takes root. The Sigma male's quiet detachment from social games allows for a relationship dynamic that is grounded in emotional transparency, rather than pretense. Women feel free to express fears, insecurities, and even vulnerability, not because he demands it, but because his calm, centered presence creates a psychological space where truth feels safe. Interestingly, studies in interpersonal psychology reveal that emotional safety is one of the strongest predictors of long-term relationship satisfaction. It's not the constant excitement or attraction that sustains bonds. It's the ability to be real without fear of rejection. Sigma males, by their very nature, cultivate that sense of sanctuary. Their strength isn't in dominance, but in stillness. Their confidence doesn't come from needing control, but from mastering their own emotions. So when a woman feels safe enough to drop the act around a Sigma, she's not just showing trust, she's responding to an energy that invites authenticity. In that space, connection stops being performance and becomes presence. That's when true emotional intimacy, raw, unfiltered, and deeply human, finally begins. Number 5, they try to understand you, not impress you. Usually people focus on what they can show others, their looks, status, charm, or achievements. But when women meet a Sigma male, something entirely different happens. The energy in the room shifts. Instead of trying to impress him, they find themselves intrigued by him. It's as if the usual social script collapses and she starts observing him, quietly, curiously, even subconsciously. His calm detachment and quiet mystery create an invisible pull that demands attention without asking for it. In psychology, this reaction is often tied to the principle of selective attention. The human mind is drawn to what it can't easily categorize. And a Sigma male, by nature, defies categorization. He doesn't perform, compete, or seek approval. He moves through life with quiet confidence, not because he thinks he's above others, but because he doesn't need external validation to define his worth. This inner independence radiates a rare kind of energy, emotional sovereignty. It's the opposite of neediness. When women sense this, it challenges their usual social expectations. Most men chase validation. Sigmas simply exist within their own gravitational field. That stillness becomes the very thing that stirs curiosity. Women start studying him, his pauses, his choices, and his values. His silence isn't empty, it's filled with intent. His discipline isn't for show, it's woven into his routine. There's something almost cinematic about how he carries himself. Understated, yet commanding. This combination of self-restraint and depth taps into an evolutionary truth. Humans are drawn to mystery because it signals intelligence and control. The less someone reveals, the more the mind fills in the blanks with fascination. But what makes Sigma magnetism powerful isn't manipulation, it's authenticity. His appeal doesn't come from playing games, but from having a strong identity that doesn't bend to every passing trend or social pressure. In a world where everyone's trying to be noticed, he's content being understood by few. That reversal from seeking attention to commanding it effortlessly is what makes his presence so magnetic. It teaches an unspoken lesson. True attraction isn't about how loudly you show up, it's about how deeply you know yourself. And when a woman meets a man who embodies that quiet self-mastery, she doesn't just see him, she studies him, not to decode him, but to understand the rare peace he carries in a world addicted to noise. Number 6, they feel safe yet challenged. The paradox of the Sigma male's presence is that he embodies both peace and power in perfect balance. This unique duality is what instantly captures a woman's attention, often without a single word being spoken. Psychologically, people are drawn to what they can't fully predict or categorize, and the Sigma's calm strength confuses the usual social patterns. He doesn't seek validation or display dominance through loud gestures. His confidence comes from a deep inner self-assurance. That's why women often feel something profound in his presence, a sense of safety that doesn't come from control, but from grounded certainty. In evolutionary psychology, this balance of traits, composure under stress, self-sufficiency, and subtle authority, is perceived as high value because it signals both protection and stability without dependency or aggression. Around a Sigma, a woman's natural instincts respond differently. Her guard lowers because he's not performing for attention, yet she can't quite figure him out. That mystery activates curiosity, a key trigger for emotional attraction. The Sigma male's silence isn't empty, it carries weight. His stillness communicates confidence, the kind of confidence that doesn't need approval or applause. In modern terms, he demonstrates emotional intelligence. He listens more than he talks, observes before reacting, and carries himself with quiet discipline. Women subconsciously equate that level of control with trustworthiness and depth. He doesn't overpower her because he doesn't need to. His power is internal, measured, deliberate, and rooted in purpose. This dynamic often shifts how she behaves too. Instead of trying to dominate or test him, she mirrors his calm energy, feeling both at ease and intrigued. The Sigma's serenity commands respect while his strength earns admiration. It's this equilibrium, the ability to be gentle without being weak and powerful without being oppressive, that separates him from every other man. His presence alone teaches a silent lesson. True masculinity isn't about force, but about mastering oneself. Being Sigma isn't about superiority. It's about self-mastery, learning to govern your emotions, stay true to your path, and radiate calm in a chaotic world. When you do that, you won't need to chase validation. Your energy will do the talking. And when women sense it, they'll know they've met something rare.